If you want to become the best version of yourself in 2024, live exactly like your Pinterest boards, live your most productive, healthy, desired life, and be like the alter ego that's always living inside your head, be it your own Sasha Fierce or Anita Maxween.
This is my alter ego. Anita Maxween. Anita Maxween.
Watch this video because you and I, yes, that's right, you and I together, we're both going to take on this journey in 2024. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mumbi Johnson if you've never seen my face before, and I want you to go get your notebook, iPad, computer, whatever, because you're going to need to take some notes. Before we get started on this project, we need a clear headspace, which means we need a clear environment. We need our surroundings to be clean, fresh, not cluttered or messy. As they say, messy bed, messy head, and we're not going into 2024 messy. So now that my room is clean, we can move on to the next step, which is reflection. This step is really essential in moving forward into the new year because you want to reflect on everything that you did in the past year, what was good, what was bad, what things you can improve on. It's really important that you take a look back so that you know how to move forward, how we're stepping, you know? And so also that we can pinpoint exactly what it is that we want to work on to improve ourselves and just be the best version of ourselves and all of that jazz. So reflection, do not forget about this step. It might seem like a little bit tedious or like, oh, I already know what happened, but I feel like taking out a journal or whatever writing utensil, writing down literally like what went good for you, what was not so good, maybe things that you struggled with. In terms of reflection, you can find prompts online, like on Pinterest, which is what I'm going to be using. I feel like taking a good 30 minutes, you can take more time if you really want to, but at least 30 minutes to just reflect. I don't know how many more ways I can say reflect. Okay, let's just get into it. I have my 2023 journal right here. This is one of the best journals I've ever kept. Before I actually went into the new year, right, I did a whole bunch of reflection. This was my 2022 recap and reflection. So I basically found all these prompts online, like one word to describe your year, what were your biggest challenges, some of your biggest wins, what kind of person do you want to become next year, what would my ideal environment look like, who did I connect with, what am I most grateful for. You can do a whole bunch more. So you see this blank page? We're gonna do our little reflection on this page. Here's just like a sample one that I found, some end of year journal prompts. There's a whole bunch that you could do. I just finished doing the end of year reflection prompts that I found on Pinterest. I guess I can share some of that with you. How did I change and grow this year? I became a little bit more independent going into college and like trying to figure things out my own and just like advocating for myself. I met a lot of new people and I tried putting myself out there, seeing who I really vibed with, like especially considering I had to make new friends because I wasn't gonna be with my old friends that I knew and that I loved, but kind of figuring out who do I want to hang out with outside of the friends that I already made. I learned more about my boundaries, definitely, especially considering my new living environment in the dorms and just overall like how I want to be treated by other people and just learning like what my vibe is. Some of my favorite moments were going to Hawaii. Hawaii was literally a life-changing trip for me. Like I talk about it all the time, and my friends that I went with, like it was just such a good experience that I would do it all over again. Turning 18, senior spring, my internship with Talbot over the summer, and partying with some of my college friends. Who did I lean on the most? I would definitely say my mom. She's been the one to help me through some of like the most stressful times that I've had this year, and she's always there for me. Calling her like 24/7. I think I definitely like leaned on her the most. What could I have done differently? Managed my money better. I mean, going into college, I was like, ooh, party this, let's eat out here, do this, and then it kind of, I felt the effects of it later on. Have less of a closed mind, because sometimes I do tend to shut down a little, but not intentionally. Like, I want to try new things, but then I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna work with me. I don't know how that's gonna sit with me. So I'm like, maybe not. And then that, like, you know, I don't take that risk. So I want to take more risks. I could have stayed more organized and not procrastinated. This is an ongoing thing that I need to just, like 2024, I'm standing on big business. Honestly, every time I do it, the future version of me is like stressed out and having to do everything all at once, and it's just like I don't want to live in stress. I don't want to put my future self in stress. And just practicing more gratitude. Also people pleasing. I don't want to be a people pleaser, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm not a mean person, but like trying not to do everything in accordance to like what I think other people want from me. Those were just some of the things that I put down, but now I'm going to move on to some journal prompts to welcome in the new year, and I'll put those on the screen right here. You can screenshot. And I think this is going to move us forward into knowing what we want to become in 2024, having a clear vision, having a clear headspace and direction as to where we want to go this year, because I have a really good feeling about 2024. I hope that you do too. We're going to be in this together. So subscribe to my channel so that we can motivate each other, so you can see me working out, so you can see me trying to achieve all my goals for the year and keeping me accountable, because I think since this is a journey, since we're doing this together, pinky promise, I think, you know, it's good that this is like a motivating factor for me, like having a channel and putting myself out there, and like I'm saying all this stuff, but I need to back it up with proof. Hopefully you watching me from this point on, you'll get motivated too, and we'll be in this together. Feel free to comment in the comment section below, like tell me what your goals are or what your vision for yourself is, and I'm gonna hype you up. I'm gonna do these prompts really quickly, and also look at my nails. Aren't they cute? I love them. I did them myself. Nail tech. What are my dreams and aspirations for 2024? To grow my YouTube channel, because this is something that I've been dreaming of since the day I knew about YouTube. When it first started as a project for me to document my senior year of high school, I do have the dream to be a YouTuber or to create content on this platform. Becoming financially free, I do want to have my own like income, like steady income, and not have to depend on like my parents for certain things, or just like having my own money, traveling more, getting into modeling. I always loved modeling. I just think it would be a cool hobby to do. Who do I want to become this year? I want to become the version of myself who's always put together, who has a morning routine and a night routine, is fit, eats healthy, practices cycle syncing, takes her vitamins, has a great sense of style, is always taking pictures, makes lots of money, gets princess treatment, spends a lot of time with friends and family, has multiple streams of income, practices good hygiene and skincare, and always has her hair and nails done. Or what am I willing to sacrifice to make my goals happen? Not going out all the time. First, to save money, and also to do things that are going to help me progress in this journey of becoming my best self. Getting out of my comfort zone. I'm willing to sacrifice my comfort. So like getting up early in the morning, even when I'm like, I don't want to get up. Like getting up and starting my day and doing my morning routine. I'm willing to sacrifice unhealthy foods. So less cookies, less french fries, and less mindless social media scrolling. The amount of time that I spend on TikTok or like Instagram just scrolling and it's like not doing anything for me. I always say like, oh, I don't have time to read a book, or I don't have time to practice this certain hobby, but I do have the time. I'm just wasting it scrolling. What are some new skills or hobbies that I would like to learn? I want to get back into dancing, practice nail art. Like I don't think you guys understand. I'm trying to be the person who's doing my own nails to save money, right? And to also just like get better at it and be self-sufficient. I do have like some bucket list items, like visit all the museums in DC, volunteer, plant something. So now that we have come to the end of the reflection process, there's one more thing that we have to do before we move on to the next step. From this reflection process, we're going to create a new purpose and choose a word or a phrase to embody how we're going to move in 2024. This is going to be your purpose. This is going to be your why. Because if you don't know your why of like, why are you doing this? Why are you going on this journey? Then it kind of seems pointless. So for me, my word or words I've chose to is that I'm stepping into 2024 with intention and patience. Write yours down right now. Just make it a sentence, make it 2 words, make it a word. It could just be one word to describe how you're going to be stepping into 2024. Keep that word because we're going to be using it for our vision board in the upcoming steps. So we've already done some of the prep for this process by doing the reflection. Right now, what I want you to do is just do a little brain dump of everything that you want to achieve or any goals that you have for 2024. Literally brain dump everything that's on your mind right now that the best version of yourself would do. And these goals could be like have routines, wake up early, exercise, and then after you do this little brain dump, we're going to work these goals into achievable goals. So we're not just going to create these goals and just lay them out here like this. We're going to break them into systems of how we're going to go about to achieve the goals. And I learned about this from reading Atomic Habits. That book is a really good book. I would highly recommend it. We're going to create systems on how to achieve those goals so that we have a process, a step-by-step on how these goals are going to be achieved. I'm back with my iced matcha latte. Perfection. I'm going to use this blank piece of paper to write down all of my goals and the systems on how I'm going to achieve those goals. As you see here, I have 2024 goals, and I just wrote down one of my first ones, which is to create consistent YouTube content. But do you see how the problem is, if I just write this down and be like, okay, there's like no plan, there's no strategy as how I'm supposed to do that. It's just a big, broad goal. And consistent can mean different things for different people. So consistent could be once a week. Consistent could be 2 times a month. You really have to narrow it down. What steps, what actions are you going to take to actually create what your definition of consistent is? For me, what consistent looks like is 1 upload a week, which means 4 times a month, basically. One way that I'm going to do this goal is by planning out my content. Content planning and knowing what you're going to record, when you're going to record it, it'll just make it a lot easier for me to create consistent content because I know what I'm doing. I'm not just like coming up with an idea all of a sudden and be like, okay, let me record it and then not have another plan for the next video. So I think content planning, I think another way I can create consistent content is by editing a little bit every single day. So any footage that I take from that day, I'm going to start editing it that day so that I can just have the next day to do more editing for whatever it is that I have. So it's just not all piled up onto one day. It's like, okay, now I have to sit back and edit this whole entire video, which can take hours because making YouTube videos is not easy, and I knew that going into it. So as you can see, I wrote down some of my systems in these bullet points, so kind of already covered what I was going to write for this one. But let's say for waking up earlier, you want to be specific, and so I said I want to start waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. depending on how my college schedule for the second semester looks like. So I can set multiple alarms, go to bed earlier the night before so I can be well rested, get my 8 hours and not feel tired, because I had the habit of going to bed at like 12 or 1, and so that wasn't feasible because I obviously was going to be sleep deprived and grumpy. Also having a morning routine to help aid in like my waking up process and look forward to getting up and like going about my day. So you can do this for any amount of goals that you have. I'm gonna continue to add more to this. I highly recommend doing this process because it gives you a blueprint of how you're gonna go about and achieve your goals. I just want you to know that you are not the old version of yourself. Right now, starting in this moment that you're watching me, you are going to tell yourself, I am not the old version of myself. I am the best version of myself, the one that I look up to. Because you need that identity shift, that mindset shift to know that you are already the person that you're working to become. You just have to literally do the actions that your dream self would do. I want you to start practicing affirmations. You can look them up on Pinterest. There are so many affirmations. There are affirmations for love, affirmations for self-love, affirmations for beauty, affirmations for finances, affirmations for school. There are so many affirmations that you can practice as a daily mantra to yourself. Honestly, affirmations have been the biggest game changer in my life. I've seen it manifest. Like, I start thinking of myself positively. I think I'm strong. I think I'm smart. I think I'm beautiful. And it really just changes your perspective on yourself. So practice affirmations, 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 affirmations. This is the moment you all have been waiting for, vision boards. Visuals help to inspire you, to motivate you, and give you a sense of direction, literally like visually, so you can see where you're heading in the future and what you're working towards. A really good tip that I got from Haley Gamba on YouTube, who I love her videos so much. They really inspired me to become my best self, is that she adds a photo of herself onto her vision boards just so that like it feels personal. It feels like this is gonna happen for me. Like, she usually puts her photo in the center of the vision board and has all the inspo pics surrounding her photo, but like, you put yourself on the vision board, you are a part of the vision. So there are a couple of options of how you can create a vision board. So you can just create one single vision board with like pictures that encapsulate everything that you want 2024 to be, which is what most people do. To create multiple vision boards, which is something that Haley Gamba also does. So she has 3 vision boards, one for her body, one for her career, and one for her just overall lifestyle. Another option is to make quarterly vision boards, so for the different quarters of the years, and have them be more focused on what you want to accomplish or what you want that quarter of the year to look like for you. Another option is vision journals, which is something that Simone Squared on YouTube does. So she has a journal just dedicated to her vision for 2024, and on each page she has a different aspect of her ideal lifestyle, and she puts her goals and affirmations on each page regarding what it's talking about. Another option is to just do it however you feel like fits your style. Everyone does vision boards differently. Another thing I will say is to draw inspo from real people who are already living life the way that you want to live life, or some of their qualities or some of their habits. A big person that I like to follow and just watch and consume their content, because consumption is a really big thing when it comes to creating the life that you desire. If you're consuming a lot of like negative things that aren't really supporting your vision for your life, that can go into your subconscious and kind of mess with what you're working towards. But Fernanda Ramirez is a content creator on YouTube that I look up to a lot because she has the fitness goals that I have. She has the social life that I want to implement into my life a little bit more. She has the career that I want to go into. Just trust the process, because not everything on your vision board might come true in that year. So not everything that I might put on my 2024 vision board will come true in 2024. There are things that might happen a year later. Trust the process. Everything is going to happen when it happens for a reason. Also, can we just talk about how this picture in the back is perfect? It says, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you create. Okay, so now that I've got all my photos from Pinterest onto my computer, I'm gonna go onto Canva and make my vision board. I like to do them digitally, but also sometimes just print out the vision board that I make on my computer, and I can just make however many copies, hang it up wherever I feel is necessary. Let's go onto Canva and start designing. Okay, so I'm going to add a heading, intention and patience. Let's make this small because I have a lot of photos that I'm trying to put onto my vision board. And one thing I do like to do though is on Canva, I like to organize different sections of the vision board for different things. Like in one corner, I might have like health related stuff like fitness, food. Then I might have like academics in another corner. I might have social life in another corner. A lot of self-care type things. So I'm gonna put those together. Okay, so that's gonna be like my self-care corner. I think that's a big thing that I just want this year, like a lot of friends and a lot of memories. As you can see here, this is my vision board. I have my academics in this corner, a lot of YouTube stuff, and if I put my own name there to like really manifest it happening for me, because I just found this image on Pinterest and I was like, let me just put my name there instead. As I mentioned, I put my words for the year and also a picture of myself, and yeah, this is just a general outlook on my life, or how I want it to look like. In addition to this last step with our vision board being made, we want to get into the actual planning part. So we have the visual planning, we have everything that we aspire to be, things that we want to do, accomplish in 2024, but we need to plan routines, what our months are going to look like. I feel like this is super important because it just lays out the foundation, the blueprint. That's a common word that I've been saying this whole entire video, of how you're going to move in 2024. So as for establishing routines, I think a solid morning routine, night routine, maybe a Sunday reset routine, because when we have routines, we're more likely going to do the things that we say we're going to do because it's in an order. It's like step-by-step process. This is what I have to do today. This is what I have to do in the morning to set myself up for a productive day or whatever it is. And there are so many routines you can make. You can make a workout routine. You can make cleaning schedule for when you want to clean your apartment, your dorm room, your room, study routine, like what do your weekends look like? What is a productive study day for you? So there are so many different routines that you can make, but I think that having a solid morning and night routine is one of the most essential things to just setting yourself up right and ending the day on a positive note, and a note that is aligning with what you want 2024 to look like. And then the last thing is just planning out your year in quarters. So I kind of mentioned this with one of the options for how you can make your vision board, like a quarterly vision board. From what I've heard and what I've seen online and what I've researched a little bit, there's this thing called a quarterly planning for your year, and it's like a little hack that like millionaires use, which that's kind of saying something. So this method is used by a lot of millionaires, a lot of the corporate world, where they're already planning 3 months ahead of us. They're not thinking about, oh, January and February. They're thinking about May, possibly even June. If you want to have like this millionaire mindset, we need to start planning quarterly. Yes, it might seem like, oh my God, I can't even think about like May or June right now, but I'm gonna show you how to like kind of make it work for us. Okay, because we're in this together. I'm trying this year too. From what I've heard, this is what a lot of successful people do. So I'm gonna try to put myself in the space of a successful person because I am. We have to affirm it. We are already successful. So as I mentioned before, we went over the whole goal setting thing and breaking it down into systems. But now with these big goals, the broad big goals that we had, we're gonna break these into quarters. And so basically this means that if we think about it in quarters, that means we have 90 days in that quarter. These millionaires, the corporate world, they look at those 90 days as a year. And so what that means is that you don't have 365 days to complete something. You have 90 days. Now, that's scary. I know. It's like, that's not that much time. But actually it's kind of better because it doesn't seem as overwhelming. You have a smaller amount of time to work with, and we're gonna break down these goals. And another plus side is that this method prevents you from procrastinating because you do have a little bit less time. So you're more focused on completing your goals and have more focus on a day-to-day basis rather than just looking at the entire year and you're like, oh, I have so much time. And then you know, then that's where habits of procrastination come in, and then you're like, you put it off. It's like, I still have so much time in the year, things like that. So what you can do to organize yourself is create a chart of quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and I'm gonna put an image on the screen as an example. This girl on TikTok that I watched, where I got all of this information from, and she had the example of a broad goal being getting 150k followers on, I guess, her TikTok. As part of her system, she said she would post more, and so posting more would look like every other day, but posting every other day for the span of 365 days is around 182 days. So that means she would have to post 182 times a year. When you say, oh, I have to post 182 times, like that seems overwhelming. It is, that's a big number. It's like, I don't know if I could do that. When you break it down into quarters, 15 times a month. Now, that doesn't seem as overwhelming. Basically, what you want to do is reverse engineer these big goals and break them down and plan them out so that you can visually see it and it doesn't seem like such a big task. Another thing that she mentioned is visual gratification. I think visuals have a lot to do with this whole process, just seeing things happen. So she offered 2 different examples. You could do a bingo card that has like little goals or like micro goals on them, and every time you like achieve one of them, you scratch it off or like cross it off the bingo card, and you would create a bingo card for every single month, and every time you do something you just check it off, and then you get that gratification and it makes you want to keep going. But another way to do this is also by creating a spreadsheet, and I guess she had a template or something where she wrote down all of her like micro goals, and every time she did it she would check it off, and then there would be a percentage marker thing that would say how close to 100% she was to completing all of her goals. So I definitely think that this is a really good strategy to take into 2024. Personally, this is my first time hearing about it, and I definitely want to implement this because I feel like it's going to set me up for success, and I want you to be successful too. So that's why I decided to share this little snippet here. So thank you so much for tuning in to this video. 2024 is our year. It's gonna be such a good year for us. We're gonna set each other up for success. We're gonna practice affirmations. We're gonna look at that vision board every day and be like, that is my life. We're gonna attract so much positive energy and just live the life of our dreams. And I'm gonna check in with you guys at the end of this year or even throughout the year. Please like comment on my videos. Let me know how you're doing, how you're achieving your goals, everything, because I want to hype you up. I want to hold you accountable. I want you guys to hold me accountable. So I think this is a really good journey that for both of us to take on. And with that, I'm going to say bye because this video is long enough, but I hope you got a lot of good information, things that you're going to take with you, and happy planning for 2024. Thank you, my loves, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
It don't close.